Okay, Dan, I think I got something good for you. You've got some good movements. We can time things up just a little bit better in the way we move. And I've been using for our first video lesson this example of Nolan Arenado just so I have a baseline. Your very first move, as I watch, and see what we get going here, that's a pretty good move. You can see that we are getting our back hip and our back knee inside our back foot. That's pretty good. And as we watch our hands up here, we're getting some movement back. As we watch Arenado, you can see how late he gets his hands going back, and we can see, watching his knee and his hip, how he gets that going forward. Now here's the big difference. Here's what I'd like to see you working on. As you watch Arenado, pay particular attention to his back knee, and you can see, his back knee and his hands. And you can see how he gets his toe into the ground before we get any movement forward here or anything turning over here. See how he gets the toe touch still loaded? He's getting the toe touch still loaded. Now, as you are coming down, this is where we want to sequence up our movement a little bit. You'll see that you'll start to turn and have your hands come slightly forward right as you're starting to get into the ground. Okay? And what that ends up in the long run, that ends up creating just a little bit of space. When we zoom in here, you can see the space right there that you've created, and that's made ourselves inevitably going to go around the ball. As we watch our end result, we get kind of in a round type of swing. So we move good early there, but we want to get into the ground with everything still loaded. Get our toe into the ground with everything still loaded. Then we are going to, by everything still loaded, we still have our hands back, and we still haven't turned over our knee. We haven't started to turn with our hips until we get to immediate preparation with our heel in the ground, where you can see at the last second, see as you're coming in, I'll just kind of roll my finger, you're starting just before you get into the ground. And that movement, as we're starting to rotate here and have our hands start to come forward right as we're getting into the ground, really watching our hands, you can see how you're just starting to create that little bit of separation there. Whereas we watch Arenado, you can see how his hands fall into the slot, top hand a fist away from his back shoulder as his toe hits. Then as he gets into immediate preparation where his heel goes down, you can see how his hands stay connected to his back shoulder. And as you watch the difference in just watching hands, the path that your hands take to the ball versus Arenado's, which is straight to, just rolling there. Versus there. We're not going to tell you, try to take your hands straight to the ball. What we need to do is sequence up our movements a little bit better. So again, we see how Arenado gets toe into the ground without having any movement here, here, here. We're at the last second as you're getting into the ground right there. We're starting to move just a little bit. Right? So we don't want to have anything engage forward until we get to there with that immediate preparation, where you can see when you get to your immediate preparation how much your hands have already started to come apart. So this is the move that we want to really try to burn into our mind, how everything is still loaded at toe touch versus how you've started to move just a little bit. It's not off by much.